Listening to other people talk and talking to the lighting specialist from this company, I thought I might have too much light here. Not at all. I love a really bright workspace, and this is perfect. I'm really glad that I got this many lights instead of settling for something less. Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and today we're going to install some new LED high bay lights here in my workshop. When we bought this property, this was a simple pole barn with a dirt floor. It had lights and a couple plug-ins, but that was about it. So as soon as we bought it, I put in the concrete floor, I put in a central heat and air unit, I ran plug-ins throughout the building, I put in an air compressor and ran air lines around the building, and I insulated the entire thing, including a drop ceiling, so that we didn't have to heat and cool so much area. So now it's almost the perfect workspace. There's really two improvements that still need to happen off the top of my head. One is there's way too much clutter in here. I've spent all week cleaning and organizing this shop so that it's a better workspace. The second upgrade that I feel like I really need is better lighting. So the first thing I want to show you is that light and this light that I use for every project I do out here. Wherever I'm working in the shop, I cart those two DeWalt cordless lights around so that I can see my project and that I can film it and have enough light for the camera. One nice thing they did when they built this is create 4 circuits for the lighting in here, and each circuit has its own breaker in the breaker box. So this first switch is just the one light above the door. Then we have 3 rows of these 4-foot fluorescent lights. The fact it's already wired that way is going to make this upgrade really easy and convenient to do. Now you might be thinking there's already plenty of light in here, and it's not terrible just for walking around, but when you're really working on something, it can be hard to see, especially if you're in one of the corners. And the thing about these fluorescent lights is they very quickly lose their brightness. According to Google, a standard 4-foot 2-bulb fluorescent light has 3,000 lumens of total output. Lumens is basically just total amount of light. So that's equivalent to about 3 regular household light bulbs. The problem is, within just a year or two, they lose about 50% of their brightness. But let's say they have 3,000 lumens of light, and we have 15 of them. That's 45,000 lumens in this building. These high bay lights are 21,000 lumens each. So 2 of the high bay lights put out the amount of light of all 15 of these. So these lights I'm using are made by Demilare, and they were provided to me to review for this video. I've got very similar lights already up in the Quonset hut, and as soon as I put them out there, I said, man, I need some of those for my shop. So as I said a minute ago, each of these lights puts out 21,000 lumens. Now, if you contact Demilare about some lights, they will do a lighting analysis for you. And they're going to ask for the dimensions of your building and the type of work you do in it. And from that, they will recommend how many lights you need. When I said that my building was 30 by 50 with 12-foot ceilings, they said I needed 6 lights. They said, what do you do in there? I told them I do welding, woodworking, maintenance on equipment. And they said, yeah, 6 lights should do it. I said, I also film out there all the time. They said, if you're filming, maybe you should get 8 lights. So I have 8 lights. So if you're not familiar with these, I'll get it up here close where you can see each of those little yellow spots is its own LED light. So it's like having 150 of the flashlights on your phone in one light. These have a housing that's meant to dissipate heat, and then they're threaded on the back side. You can thread a hook into them, which is what I'm going to do because it's what's provided. You could also use all thread, whatever's convenient for you, but it does have a nice threaded insert on the back. These are corded, but my lights that are already up there are hardwired, so we will be cutting these cords and hardwiring. One thing I'll say from my personal experience using these lights in the Quonset hut is don't look directly at them. They will literally, it's like looking at the sun. That's how bright they are. As far as attaching the lights, I mentioned earlier they've got the hook installed in the back of them. I'm using a simple eye bolt. We're going to pre-drill a hole, screw this in, and just hang the light like that. It's also got a screw right here that you run down, and it almost reaches the other side of the hook, so that keeps it from coming out. One down. And now one going up. I was thinking there might not be a good way to show how bright these lights are because the cameras automatically adjust to the amount of light to a certain extent. But I only have one LED light behind me over here and regular fluorescence over here, so it should be pretty even to compare how bright it is here to here, and that's with only one light. A little darker and a whole lot brighter. One down, 7 to go. So on the first one, I stood on a ladder while I stripped these wires. Doesn't really make any sense. So I opened all of them, screwed the top into all of the lights, went ahead and cut the cord to length, and prepped my 3 wires. So I'm doing less work and spending less time on the ladder. It would be really repetitive to show you all 8 lights being installed. I try not to be repetitive, even though I'm a little bit rambly. But I'm trying to catch a before and after to tell the difference. See if you can notice the difference. This is one side of the garage. We got 3 of the new lights in. We turn around this way, and I think it's more of a yellow, more of a white. By the way, if you want the same lights that I used, check the description of this video and the pinned comment. I'll put a link to these exact lights. All right, well that is a huge upgrade. Only took a couple hours. Nice little project for the day. I'm really glad to get this done. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.